Hello, I'm here to share with you my project from the Zone Learning course called the Right to Peace Project. I'm a professional communications graduate student at Toronto Metropolitan University. I'm also the vice president and the co-founder of the Right to Peace Project, which is a nonprofit organization in Canada which is gathering support for an international treaty for the right to peace. I started my career with the International Criminal Tribunal, which is a United Nations tribunal in Tanzania. And it was to try the war crimes for the Rwandan genocide from 1994. I met my husband there, who was with the prosecution. He was a legal advisor later for the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights in Geneva. And after that, he was on the bench as a judge at the International Criminal Court. And he was also the president for the last 3 years. We've both always had a passion for human rights, and he's really knows a lot about human rights law. And it's been a dream for him to make a piece of treaty rights. So together, we've formed an NGO called the Right to Peace Project, and it is a purpose-driven campaign with the singular goal of ratifying a treaty guaranteeing the right to peace. This project is to hopefully act as a deterrent in some ways and to make individuals accountable for wars of aggression. At the beginning of this course, my project was in the really early stages of development, and you can see the mind map that I have here, and that was really the concept that we started with. The mind map is there to help me make connections, see relationships, and make the plan as we move forward. We also, at the very beginning of the project, had just this logo up at the top of the people that was inspired by some graffiti art from the Toronto area. The logo we decided to change into a dove, which helps to signify peace. And the logo on the right was the sort of part of the second iteration. And we eventually ended up with the one in the middle. So during this course, we've been able to register as an NGO. We've incorporated a board of directors. We've written our mission statement. We've written press releases for the media, and we've launched our website. And this is the landing page for the website. If I were to answer what the journey has been like, I would say that it's been a really good opportunity for me. The class has given me the time and the structure to focus on this project, and it's made me be accountable, and it's made me push the project a little farther to make progress. I've also improved my skills like critical thinking, problem solving, mindfulness, and it's given me space to have a lot of collaboration with peers. I feel like with this course, I've been able to take an idea and really create it into a shape that is recognizable to stakeholders and to outsiders. I received a lot of encouragement from the peers, mostly in the class. We have the squad sessions, which were really good opportunities to discuss ideas, give and take feedback, help each other with our projects. Um, we've also been able to listen to others' presentations and demonstrations in class, and the discussion and the talk about the strengths and weaknesses of the projects. I found those really, really important. As for setbacks, I did have quite a setback when at the very beginning, when it seemed like we had a few people leave our nonprofit, and they were the ones who really helped with ideation and the brainstorming. And so I really thought that we couldn't get it off the ground if we didn't have their help, but we were able to replace them and push beyond. And so it has been sort of like a set of waves of highs and lows, and learning new skills and then mastering skills. So it's a lot of up and down. But I think with the peer encouragement, some of the best parts of that were that we all have these everyone in our squad would have a different project that may be relatable but may not have anything to do with our project. But in the end, we all need the same skills to succeed. So because we learned these skills in class, it was a really nice, safe place for us to talk about what we are up against in our projects. This slide you can see is some wallpaper that I made with the logo. We'll use it for different merchandise. Maybe we can make some business cards from it. But what I learned from end users, I learned that for my project to be relatable, it really needs to have a narrative. And I needed examples of current events that could benefit from a treaty, a peace treaty, and how that would actually look in real life. It needed more stories about other international treaties and how they are helping the world. So there are other international treaties that are underway, and people are being held accountable for those when they're violated. What did I learn about myself? Well, I learned a lot about my leadership style. I learned about how I feel about personnel accountability. And I also learned that I suffer from a perfectionism, which can really stunt progress. So it was a lot of learning in that way. Um, how I've advanced in my field, I would say that it's really kind of a 0 to 100. We started without being part of an NGO, and now we are in the NGO world. And there are a lot of resources available now for nonprofits. So I feel like I can take advantages of resources that are outside of our course. And I'll have a new set of peers to hopefully collaborate with. What are the next steps for the project? Well, in this slide, you can see we will start doing some media campaigns, and these are just some Instagram posts. The one at the bottom is a carousel that's talking about a fundraising event. Um, if I were to give advice to myself, I would say that I would have pushed myself in the beginning a little bit earlier, even though that I knew that my work wasn't perfect. I think I would try to push beyond where I thought I needed to keep making fine tune adjustments to get to the next step, because we are in a space that allows for mistakes and allows for feedback and allows for really nice criticisms that are helpful as feedback. So I think that it also, if I had taken advantage of more of the squad session at the very beginning and just sharing a little bit more of um, my difficulties, I think would also have been a little bit better. As for the takeaways from the zone learning course, I would say that it is a very safe place to make mistakes. It's a safe place for developing an idea, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who has a passion project. You'll get a lot of inspiration. You will have a lot of really interesting discussions with peers. You will have the ability to get a lot of constructive criticism, and you'll have a lot of personal time with like-minded peers. And I think also having this space really forces you to be accountable, and it really forces you to make progress in your project. And I encourage anyone with a project to pursue this course. Thank you.